I want to thank Senator Reid for his comments in support of my amendment. This is about medical research, and if I have a passion for this subject, I do. Certainly, I believe most of us do. There comes a point in your life where you get a diagnosis or news about someone you love, and you pray to goodness that there's been some research to develop a drug or a procedure or a device that gives them a chance for life. Do I want to invest more money in medical research so that there are more chances for life? You bet I do. And I believe our highest priority should be the men and women in uniform and their families and our veterans. That's why I'll stand here today and defend this Department of Defense medical research program as long as I have breath in my lungs. Because I believe it is essential that once we've made the promise to men and women in uniform that we'll stand by them, that we keep our word. And our word means standing by medical research. Some have made lightly of the issues that are being investigated under medical research. Not anyone on the floor today, but others. Prostate cancer. What are they doing investigating prostate cancer at the Department of Defense? Service members are likely to develop prostate cancer twice as likely as those who don't serve in the military. Why? I don't know the answer. Is it worth the research to answer that question? Of course it is. Alzheimer's, DoD medical research. For the men and women who've served our country and have experienced a traumatic brain injury, their risk of developing Alzheimer's disease is much higher. For those suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder, their risk is also higher. Alzheimer's research at the Department of Defense? Here's the reason. Lou Gehrig's disease, ALS. We sure know that one, don't we? According to the ALS Association, military veterans are twice as likely to be diagnosed with ALS relative to the general population. Why? Should we ask the question? Do we owe it to the men and women in uniform to ask this question about ALS? We certainly do. Lung cancer, of course, there's too much smoking in the military, and that's part of the reason, but the incidence is higher. Gulf War illness. It wasn't until the Department of Defense initiated its research that we finally linked up why so many Gulf War veterans were coming home sick. Now we're treating them as we should. Traumatic brain injury, spinal cord injury, epilepsy and seizure. The list goes on. To walk away from this research is to walk away from our promise to the men and women in uniform, their families, and our veterans. I'm not going to stand for that, and I hope the majority of the Senate will support my effort to eliminate this language that's been put into this Department of Defense authorization bill and say to the chairman once and for all, stop this battle against medical research. There are many ways to save money in the Department of Defense. Let's not do it at the expense of medical research and at the expense of the well-being of the men and women who serve our country.